right, it is the end of the season, 2025, another one in the books. And the pool looks great. So, thought I'd do a little wrap-up video and talk about how the season went and talk about plans for next year, things like that. As you can see, the pool stayed nice and clean and clear all season. So the water level is a little bit low. I don't know if you can tell that here, but it should be halfway up the tile. That's one of the things that I'll talk about. There's a little bit of trash over here. I'm going to grab this real quick and throw it away. There it is. Yeah, little candy wrapper. So, some of the improvements that we're talking about for next year. These beams here, the ones on the far side over here, we replaced I think in 2021, something like that. And it was done by volunteers, you know, and we managed to pull it off, but it was a little bit sketchy. So we're hiring this side out, but you can see that this beam over here is patched here, and it's like rotting here, and then also here. And so yeah, we're looking for a crew that can come down and replace this side for us and give us a nice sturdy beam. Maybe at some point we can put a more solid roof on here. We've talked about doing something with roof trusses and greenhouse panels or something like that. A nice little butterfly here. Butterfly visitor. I don't know what kind that is. But yeah, the beam is one of the things. And then also we have doors. Our doors for the bathrooms are in kind of rough shape. So we want to replace all three doors, the men's rooms, women's room, and the pump house over there. Replace them with steel doors so we can have just better quality, more secure doors. So that's something else we're talking about. This is our new cabana. It was a good addition. Yeah, and seemed to work well for the pool attendants and kept the sun off of them, but kept them in view of the gate, so everybody that came in didn't have any doubt as to where to check in. So it was a good deal. One of the additions we did for 2025. So yeah, new beams, new doors. At some point we have to talk about concrete too, and then also the fence. I don't know if we'll get to that in 2026 or not, but yeah, something we have to think about and put money away for. So let's go over here to the pump house real quick. Pool's looking nice and clean, some toys down at the bottom. Oh, and this is our new concrete in case you didn't see it. So new concrete around the deep end, new retaining wall here. It's real nice having kids being able to sit on this wall, wait for their turn on the diving board. We'll go over here to the pump house. So one of the ways that I was able to keep the pool clear this year was using liquid chlorine. So whenever you use a powder or tablets with your pool, you're adding chlorine, but you're also adding cyanic acid. And cyanic acid, which is CYA. So here's the liquid chlorine right here. Liquid chlorine. So cyanic acid is necessary for running a pool, otherwise your chlorine just cooks off. But as you add more and more cyanic acid, it requires more and more chlorine to do the job of sanitation, because what happens is your chlorine bonds with organics, body oils, sweat, suntan lotion, deodorants, things like that. It bonds with that and the UV cooks it off, and that's actually the chlorine smell. The chlorine smell is not the chlorine. The chlorine smell is chlorine plus contaminants cooking off in UV light. And so the deal with liquid chlorine is you could add just straight chlorine, no cyanic acid. So you're not fighting that battle of your CYA going up at the same time that you're trying to keep your pool clean. So we use quite a bit of liquid chlorine this year, and it was good. As you can see, the pool looks great. One thing I am looking at for next year though is having a 55-gallon drum delivered of it instead of buying 6 or 8 boxes a week. Instead, we have a guy who can drop off a 55-gallon drum and probably bring it through this back gate here and put it right here. I want it to be down here in the pump room, but getting down the steps with a barrel that big is not a realistic solution. So I think what I'll do is I'll have them drop it off here, and we'll do like a transfer siphon to the one down there, probably in the corner. I've looked at some automated systems as well too that measure your chlorine levels, and then it will actually pump chlorine in to your pool based on where your chlorine levels are at. So that could be an addition depending on where our money ends up, but that would be nice because I wouldn't have to be down here dosing the pool every day. So we can just kind of monitor it and make sure everything's going well. So yeah, that would be ideal. And here's the pump house door. You can see it's kind of rough too. So I'll close that up. So yeah, that would be another addition that I'd be interested in doing, but like I said, it really kind of depends on how things end up. We're looking pretty good as far as the money for this season. We still have a little bit of a loan on this resurfacing. We could pay it off, or we could just keep making regular payments on it and at the same time work on other projects as well. So that's the decision that we have to make. The last big one, the big project that has to do with like the water level and things like that, are these skimmers. So I think these are the original skimmers, or if they're not, they're pretty old, but they're concrete formed, which is not done anymore. Usually you just buy like a plastic body. And so the metal pipes that are used in the concrete are pretty much just rusted out. So you can see that over there. You see the water level is low there. And so the big job that I want to try to get done at some point is replacing these skimmers. So you can see we have 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so with that, what they would do is they would actually take up this concrete here and take out the skimmer body, replace it with a new, pretty much all plastic body, and then put concrete back on top of it. And so there's a PVC line that runs from that one, around the shallow end, to that one, and then into the pump house here. And so whenever we have the concrete all chipped up, you can see the skimmer line. And so I think probably the plumbing between the skimmers is probably still okay, but we don't hold any suction in the skimmers, and I think that's probably just due to the skimmers themselves rusting out. So those need to be replaced. That'll help us use less chlorine. It'll help us maintain more water, so it'll actually just be cheaper to run the pool in general once we get that done. Cheaper and easier, so looking forward to that as well too. And then you could also, you should be able to vacuum off the skimmers. You should be able to plug up any 3 of them, and then have enough suction on the 4th one to put a hose in there, a vacuum hose, and vacuum the pool. But we don't do that today. I have my little vacuum set up over here instead, a little pump on a dolly here that I made this year. So that's what I'm using for vacuuming right now. Speaking of vacuuming, we had our dog swim yesterday as tradition, the day after Labor Day, day after close. Let the dogs come in and have a swim. And I just noticed down here you can see all the fur there on top of the grate. So I've got to get the vacuum out and suck that fur up, do something with it, see how the skimmers look too. So let's see. Yeah, you can't really see in there, but yeah, it's a little gunky. The skimmers do have enough suction to suck, large debris, bugs and hair and stuff in there. So they're not completely useless. They just don't maintain suction, enough suction to fully get everything off of the surface of the pool. So, but yeah, 2025 was a great season. Everything went well. We had the little issue with weather in June where it kept raining, so it was kind of a slow start to the season. And then, as you know, it's been chilly the past week or so as well too for August, and so the water temperature has actually probably 85 degrees or so. It's a little chilly, so people were a little cold on the last couple days, but you know, the sun came out and everything was okay. We did, let's show you this real quick too. Our little skimmer robot was a big help as well. So this is our little beta skimmer robot. And so it's just a little solar powered robot here that just makes its way around the pool, sucking up anything left on the surface. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in now. But it's been a real handy little robot just to get stuff off the surface. So try to do this one-handed. There we go. Off she goes. That's about it. So we'll do a closing day. I've got a new cover to put on the pool. Should be sized about right, but just bought it off Amazon. So cover and water bags. We'll drain the pool down halfway below the skimmers and the return lines, and then put the cover on. We've got to take the sunshade down, put the chairs away, things like that. Just general winterization, you know, turn off the plumbing to the pump house. We've got to see if some of these jobs are going to get done before we close up for the season, because I don't want to like stuff everything in the bathroom and then have people here working and need to have the bathrooms open. I did add these speakers as well too. So these were Facebook Marketplace find, and they were a good investment. You know, they work pretty well for us most of the summer. So yeah, but yeah, that's about it. 2025 is a wrap. Thanks for all your support, and we'll do it again next year. Thank you.